We've got this low area in our floor here, and so I poured out a bunch of floor float, slowly trowel it out to these low spots and feather it in as it self-levels here. Just makes its way into the low spots. Great product. We are back today. We've got Ryan and John from American Hardwood Floors and More laying this 3 1/4 oak floor. We did all of our prep. You saw in earlier clips. We sealed in all the old odors and stains into this 2 1/4 oak floor, and we're going over it with brand new 3 1/4 oak. Right now, Ryan's working on trimming out around the fireplace. This is not gonna be a quick and easy job. When we work on these old houses, we have to get creative and pace ourselves. If we want a quality finish, we have to take our time. We're stoked to be painted out. We've got floors coming in. I'm setting tile later today. This is the last couple weeks of the project where everything comes together. One of my favorite parts, we're completely pumped to be able to pull down all the masking. We open the windows up, we've got all the dust and the overspray out of this unit, and we're ready to start finish work. Next up, before we lay the hardwood, we like to get all of our wet work done. We're gonna do all the tile install. So we're laying a 1/4 inch tile backer down right now. We thin set that down and then we shoot it down with galvanized ring shank nails out of the coil nailer. And before we shoot it down, we use some floor float here to hit any uneven spots. There's a lot of different ways to install tile. We use this fiberglass mesh tape over the seams, and then we'll put a skim coat down on this tile backer. And what it does is it just takes some of that dryness out of the surface, and we'll cover these tape seams. We'll also fill in all these little divot nail holes. This is a simple, affordable 12 by 24 ceramic tile with a slate texture to it. Different tile sizes call for different notches. We like a 1/4 by 1/4 square. First, we dry fit everything, and then I'll stack them up in order, and I'll thin set the whole floor. We'll do a quick skim coat, and then I'll put a 1/4 inch trowel line on the whole thing, and then I'll slam all these tiles in quickly. Don't ever want to skimp on our thin set. I like to get this stuff so it's about like pancake batter. If you run your trowel through it, it'll stand up but barely start to slump. Everybody has their own system. Feel free to comment with how you like to do it. And I'm just gonna pour a bunch of this stuff out. We use this Customs Flex thin set for large stone and tile. And the first thing I'm gonna do again is just that really quick skim coat. Slowly working our way out. I'm working about 16 inches at a time because we have a 12-inch tile. And then we're just going to let each one of these fall right into place. And then we strike it, getting that air bubble out. We'll lay the next one here. Line it up, let it fall, strike it into place. We'll put our trusty 1/8 inch spacers in. Just a simple little rubber spacer, none of those fancy thread ends or wedges for this rental property. I would say that tile is one of the last trades I ever want to do. In fact, I'm ready to give away my tile saw so I never have to do this again. But it's hard to find a tile tradesperson in our area. So I called a couple people and said, hey, do you want to come slam these 2 bathrooms in? Nobody would call me back, so here we are doing tile. Chris was cutting for me. It took us about 3 hours to cut 100 square feet of tile in these 2 bathrooms, and then it'll take us about an hour to lay it. Tomorrow we'll come back and grout it. All in all, it's probably a 10-hour job for 2 people to do these 2 bathrooms. Going rate in our area is about $60 a square foot. That's fully installed, prepped, everything. Tile guys or girls make anywhere from $60 to $100 an hour in our market. Got Ryan here today doing floor layout. We start by snapping a string line down the center of this great room, the longest wall. And then we're trimming out the brick here for the fireplace surround. and paint that thing Madden black. Teaching Chris how to cut and rack hardwood floor, and this is gonna be his first full install. Simple tools you would need are a chop saw, the floor nailer, and then the mallet. And then we're simply just taking these 3 1/4 oak boards. You can use the mallet side here to not damage the board. And once you lock it in there, you use the flooring nailer to anchor these down. And it's a simple process. Put one of these every like 6 to 8 inches and lock them right into place. The first thing we did was we sanded down the seams so we don't have any deflection or any telegraphing up through the floor. And then we lay this craft paper. It's a 30-30-30 paper, and it's a good moisture barrier, and it's also a little bit of squeak protection. The next thing we did is we started our starter course, and we did that by pulling a parallel line off the far wall. We snapped it out with chalk, and then we face nailed. We actually take our pen nailing finish gun and we face nail the back of this board. And then we start laying our pieces in, and we'll be using this flooring nailer. These are like 200 bucks, brand new. It's cheaper to buy one than to go rent one. With the floor racked out and a little bit of working room and our starter course done, all the hard work's out of the way. So now we're just gonna use the mallet head to seat our boards, and you can be kind of rough with this stuff. You don't want to be too aggressive, because if you dent up the tongue, the next board will not go in easily. There's a bunch of scrap that I had in my shop. 3 1/4 red, some 3 1/4 white, and then some 5-inch white oak as well, woven in. So this is all from the boneyard from the shop, and it's gonna go great in this cool little office space here. Thanks for tuning in. Feel free to like and subscribe.